Welcome to Winning on Wednesday. My name is Juan Vides. I'm the founder of Winning on Wednesday, and the purpose we're here to simply to get to know each other. I always say people do business who they know, like, and trust. Today, I have the pleasure to meeting one of our fellow WOW members who is a great person, and I can't wait to do this interview. Nikki Gangemi is here. So welcome, Nikki. Welcome to Winning on Wednesday.
Thank you, Juan. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So my name is Nikki Gangemi. I call myself a personal trainer for your mind, and I help people change on the inside out because we know when we want something new, it starts in you, and shift can happen as quickly as 1, 2, brand new.
Excellent. I like it. I love that. So tell us about your story about where did you grow up and tell us a brief story about you. What
Sure. Yeah. So I grew up in New Jersey, where I still reside. And I was always involved in theater in school, just loved acting. And I pursued acting at one point in my early 20s. I moved across the country to LA and I gave that a shot. And then I decided to come back home and ended up getting into teaching. I taught elementary school for 15 years before making my next pivot at
Oh
40.
wow. So when you were little, did you who did you have any role models or did you want to be anybody that inspire you or did you what you wanted to be when you grow up? I mean, I know you said an actress, right?
Yeah, I always wanted to be an actress from the time I was a little girl. What I loved about acting was I got to get out of my own head. I struggled growing up with um, constant negative thoughts and worry and fear, and it was really uncomfortable. And when it came to acting, I got to pretend to be somebody else. It was like an escape. And then I loved comedy and making people laugh. My role model came a little bit later when I was about 15 or 16, and I was watching the Oprah Winfrey show, and she started this Super Soul series where she brought on Iyanla Van Zant, and that's where I really started getting into personal growth and development and learning how to quiet those thoughts in your mind and calm down the body. And I became obsessed. It was a new obsession.
Wow. Wow. And do you have any hobbies or interests?
I do. I love dancing. I love singing, karaoke. I still like to go out and dance, and karaoke is a lot of fun. I love to read. I'm happy to sit on a beach and just read a really good book and relax.
Wow, my wife does that. She just reads on the beach. She likes to read that. I don't know. I can't do that. I'm a beach person, but it's all good. What did you major? What was your degree when you went to school for?
My degree ended up being public communications. I wanted to major in theater. My parents said, that's not stable. They said, why don't you just, do something that's, everybody needs to know how to communicate. So that was my major. And yeah, and then I didn't really use it too much, but I realize now as I think back that being an NLP practitioner, neuro linguistic programming, I kind of made a full circle and I'm back to using communication.
Wow. And what was your decision to go into teaching from communication, like, from that major go into teaching? What was that?
Yeah, that is interesting. So what happened was I moved out to LA. I gave myself 1 year. And then I decided that I didn't have what it took to be an actress. I listened to a lot of the suggestions that were given and decided that I wouldn't be able to make it. So when I came back home to New Jersey, I was 24 and I thought, what now? I don't want to be anything else. And I had family and friends who were well meaning and saying, be a teacher. It's such a rewarding career. There's so many teachers in our family. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I had a best friend who said, you know what? Why don't we be teachers together? There's something called the alternate route. We can take the praxis, we'll become licensed, we'll have summers off, we'll have so much fun. I'm like, okay. We take the test. I pass, she fails. I become a teacher, she doesn't.
Wow.
I stayed for
Wow.
15 years. You know how
Uh,
fast time flies, right?
yeah. Wow. Yeah, that was wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's a truly that's a good story. Thank you. And so tell us about what do you I mean about what you do now as far as like what you, on a daily basis, what do you I mean focus on right now? I mean, it's from going from a teaching world to doing what you do
Yeah.
now. Uh, uh,
Yeah. Yeah. So I can I share a little bit about that pivot from teaching
sure,
to what I do?
sure.
I was complaining one day, and a coworker said to me, "Why don't you bloom where you're planted?" And I had no idea what that meant, but I knew it was important. So I put it on the back burner of my mind. And then shortly after, I was dating a guy who I thought was going to be the guy for me. Like, finally, I met that man. And I was so excited. And
Uh,
it ended up, we meet people for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. He was a
yeah.
reason in a very short season. But he said to me, Nikki, if you want to do something, you do it. If you want to speak, speak in your living room. Don't wait for opportunities to come to you. You make your own path. And suddenly that bloom where you're planted came back up. And I thought, mindful matters. I'm going to help people to process the emotions from the past and change their beliefs so they get out of their own way and they can
Yes.
live their life on purpose. So it began as a mindfulness program for kids because I was still teaching. And 2 years later, I shifted into helping adults, learned about coaching and got certified as a life coach. And then I continued learning after that to develop
Oh,
practice.
wow. Wow. That's pretty cool. Um, at this point of the interview, I like to call this the golden t nugget time or moment. What was a piece of information you'd like to leave behind for somebody to become a better business person or to better their business? Is there any information you'd like to leave behind or share or give some examples?
Yes, absolutely. One of the best pieces of advice I got is done is better than perfect. And for anybody out there who struggles with perfectionism and having to get it just right before you put yourself out there, that was a really valuable lesson because you can accomplish so much more when you aim for excellence and you put something out there knowing that you can refine and tweak and improve it as you go along.
You know, I'm going to tell you something. It just reminded me of a story of a client that I had that he wanted all the bells and whistles for this rocket ship, but the rocket ship never took off.
Ah,
It's true story,
a
you
true
know,
story. See, it
true story.
happens.
It does
Yeah,
happen. Yeah, it does happen. Sometimes there's people, and it was a great idea, but it never took off. But
yeah,
so anyway, so is there any other networking? Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Is there any other networking groups that you belong to, organizations or spheres of influence that you belong to?
yeah. So absolutely, I belong to WOW, Winning on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for the plug.
Yes, absolutely. And then I also belong to Master Networks,
Okay.
and I belong to a group called Peer, Professionals Exchanging Ideas and Referrals. And I
Excellent.
really find it valuable to invest time and money in networking because you're surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and you're building relationships. And that's what business is about, building those relationships, like you said, know, like, and trust,
Yep.
and helping people.
Absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're just trying to help out each other. So tell us a little bit about you, what you offer, your services. Tell us about your services that you know.
Sure. So I work a lot with entrepreneurs and business owners who are doing all of the things. They likely have already invested in business coaching and they're just finding that they're getting in their own way. So I work with them on things like procrastination or perfectionism, where they have a fear maybe of putting themselves out there. So I help them to eliminate any of that doubt, any of the fear. And what I'm finding from recent clients that I'm working with is they're saying, suddenly, I'm compelled to take action. I'm making that video. I'm hosting that online event, and I just feel confident doing it. So those are the kinds of people that I really enjoy working with. It's about personal growth and it's improving yourself and following what feels good to you.
Absolutely. And you just reminded me when I first started doing this, I used to always be nervous, but it's always consistency and practice,
Yeah,
it's true. Practice makes perfect, but not, but it just get better. It makes it better. It makes it easier. It makes it a lot easier
it makes
because
it a lot easier.
yeah, because I used to, think about being nervous, but now the process is just smooth because I have a process now, and you learn from your experience, you learn from your failures, basically, and you just learn from this. And this is why, these interviews, I've like I tell people, I've never went to school for communication for school. I went for computer programming, but you learn there's a skill set. You do it, but you have to put it out there and try it, and that's the only way that you're going to get better is trying it and do it more consistently on a consistent basis. You get better at it.
You get better at it.
Hmm.
Yeah, and I help to make that path a lot faster. Uh,
Absolutely.
so that people, it's like I just feel compelled to do this because
All
then
right.
there's no fear.
So if anybody wants to hire Nikki Gangemi, what is the what is the best way to contact you?
The best way to contact me, well, you can visit my website, nikkigangemi.com. You can reach out to me by email, nikki at mindfulmattersliving.com. You can call me 609-388-8211, and I would love to get on a call and get to learn more about you.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, Nikki. This is amazing, and you're a great person. Thank you for your help and support always with Winning on Wednesday. And and if anybody wants to become a member for Winning on Wednesday, we can go to www.com, winningonwednesday.com, click on the first time yes, and we'll hope to see you there. So thank you again, Nikki.
You're welcome. Thank you, Juan.
Okay.